It's Friday, and I just got off of work. I look forward to the weekends, as my current Monday to Friday 9 to 5 keeps me grounded at home on the weekdays. And since it is the winter season, it's usually dark by the time I'm ready to venture out. For this weekend, I met up with Jason, and we headed out into the wilderness of the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest in Washington State. So on this two-nighter, we camp in the snow, I test out some new gear, eat some great food, and kick back with a good friend. So grab your favorite snack, pour your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Up a little bacon.
Oh yeah.
Nothing like bacon in the morning. Found it at the local grocery store. It's an uncured bacon. It's really meaty. It doesn't just, it's not super fatty and just cooks away into nothing. It's a bit on the spendier side, but it's worth it to me.
Yesterday on our way up, we were gonna stop by this brew pub to grab dinner because he drove in at night. Turned out it was closed, so we dropped by the gas station. I ended up picking up this turkey roll there, just in case if we didn't find another restaurant that was open. And didn't get to eat it because we did end up finding a pizza place that was open. But as you can see, Jason made bacon this morning, and I just kind of sandwiched a couple of those in this puppy right here. So this is my breakfast. We're gonna finish eating up. We're gonna head out, try to see if we can find a second campground. It's gonna be pretty easy going, and then we're just gonna relax, get back, and I'll fill you guys in on the diesel heater. All right, catch you guys later.
Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river.
Yeah, I got some in the I got in the bed, truck bed.
Bury me, carry me up, far beneath.
Here, let me see the shovel here real quick. I think what we need to do is get a little bit of ramp under my front tires so it's not have to fight that so hard.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is I want to make it so it's not too tight. just a minute here.
Okay.
Straight.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Nice. Woo! Woohoo! Yeah, baby. Bingo.
Be nice for a morning poo.
Yep. Especially after some coffee, right?
A little doo-doo. I mean, I kind of hate to say it, but I kind of liked where we were at better.
That was just fun, huh? Yeah, it was more open. I mean, we could just go back.
Just kind of interesting for the kind of. I mean, it wasn't the best spot in the whole world, but like we did have room so we could have a campfire.
Sometimes you don't get the campsite you want. This area did not have sufficient space to accommodate our rigs, so we decided to head back uphill to our previous spot. It turns out that there was a campsite right on the other side of the road where we were camped at the night before. It was the perfect spot given the circumstance. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Waiting for a spot on an angled line. Driving to the outside, wasting my time. Took my place high on the rise. Look at them ants push away their prize. But I'd be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot. I'm proud to be just who I am. Salute the flag just like Uncle Sam. My Yankee do good without a dime. Work for nothing in their overtime. I'd be free as a bird. Walmart parking lot. Payroll deductions for a 1K. Matching contributions that they never gonna pay. Helping out the needy, helping out the poor. They're working for nothing at that patriotic store. But I'll be free as a bird. The Walmart parking lot.
I hope you like your steak medium rare. I'm gonna show.
It's all good.
All right.
It's all
Door to the van, by the way, for the wood.
Oh, you couldn't?
No, but I think we got enough.
I'm pretty sure this is gonna warm the belly. Man, this steak looks really good, dude.
Oh yeah. So what did you have in here in your pasta?
It's basically tortellini, and then I cooked in some spicy sausage, and but I cooked that with bacon, some cut up bacon pieces, which should add some nice flavor, and then I used some heavy whipping cream and butter and some Parmesan cheese to make the sauce.
And it's cheese filled, right? Because I can taste some cheese in here too. So this fettuccine sauce you or the sauce, you pretty much made it from scratch, right?
Yep, just heavy whipping cream, butter, and Italian seasoning, kind of mixed in with the the bacon grease and the sausage grease from cooking that.
Oh man. So you guys know I love cooking things with bacon grease. I cook my eggs in the morning with bacon grease. I wish you guys were here to have this with us, because this is freaking amazing. Wow.
I really love this steak, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it is cooked just perfectly, and there's just a little bit of fattiness to it, and I love that.
So I'll admit something. Typically, I like to cook the steak with black peppercorn and grind it onto it, and then pink Himalayan salt. But I forgot both of those things. But luckily, in the deck drawer system, I had a Montreal seasoning in there. What are you having with your food? What are you drinking there?
Well, of course, I'm having my typical Pendletons. And I actually started off with a couple pub beers this morning.
Yeah.
Or not this morning. This afternoon. We didn't drink it. We didn't drink this morning. We didn't drink this morning except for coffee. But no, we started off with a couple pub beers once we got the fire started. I don't know about you guys, but like after you've been kind of working and we ran around a little bit today trying to figure out where we wanted to camp, and there was just kind of messing around. And then once you kind of get to that point where you just feel settled, a good cold beer just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the evening.
I don't think you can go wrong with either whiskey or beer.
No.
For me, I did have some Jameson Black Barrel earlier, but I've been trying to I get, for some reason, a lot of people comment asking me what kind of beer I drink in some of my videos. So today I'm having the Voodoo Ranger IPA, and this is the higher plane. I guess it's a seasonal one, but cheers, dude.
Cheers.
Many of you follow me, follow Jason. If you have not, you definitely got to check out his channel. Actually, he has been an inspiration to my channel. I followed him since back in the days when he started backpacking. And if you follow my channel for a while, you know that we've had some campouts together, and I consider him a good friend.
It's so good, I just want to keep eating.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be sorry about it later.
So do you ever get people asking questions about how you go to the bathroom in the woods?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, that's probably one of the top questions that I get.
So I get that too. I think this is a good opportunity. As you know, Jason and I are here where there is not a porta potty, there's no bathrooms or anything like that around. Is there any advice or any tips you can offer people who want to try something like this?
Well, obviously a lot of ways of doing this, but I think if I wanted to give any tips, it comes down to stewardships and pack out what you bring in. Now, I'm not saying take your stuff out with you, but don't leave toilet paper on the ground. Have a small shovel or something, or there's lots of different toilet options out there where, you can do your business in a bag, sit on a bucket, do whatever. But the biggest thing that irritates me more than anything is when I see where people did their business, right on the surface, and then left toilet paper right on. I don't find this an appropriate conversation. I don't feel like this is an appropriate conversation, especially after we just got to talk about it. Let's go right in and dump it on the ground. I'm like, seriously? We're going to talk about this right now?
About a year ago, actually a little over a year ago, when Jason and I hung out.
Our very first time, like, hey, I'm like, hey, we're going to make a video.
We decided
we're going to lay down.
We're going to have this epic, awesome, beautiful, like, camp out by the lake. And then, well, what ended up happening was, so I'm going to share something with you guys that I'm not sure if you're privy to, and I hope Jason doesn't mind me sharing, but so when we were at Lost Lake, it was kind of, I was expecting us to have like this beautiful lakeside campground and just hanging out, but as we were getting to our campsite, we noticed just trash all over the place, and
trash everywhere. It was horrific.
Yeah, it was horrible. And a part of overlanding is, as Jason mentioned earlier, is being good stewards of the land. And it's a huge privilege for us to be able to have access to these places. And but the thing was, like, Jason being the content creator and the pioneer he is, he was like, hey, look at all this trash, let's make a video around it. I was like, okay, cool, it's a good message to send out. So we decided so we were looking. I didn't put this on my channel, but Jason put it on his, and you got to check it out. And it's definitely a good message to deliver and something to know. But Jason said, I want to make a thumbnail right in this section right here. And the thing is, I was a little hesitant. I was like, okay, Jason, I don't want to let you down, so I'm going to try to do what I can. So Jason found the spot with the most number of toilet paper, and I think there was even some spots where there was pieces of crap laying on the ground. And he said, let's just kind of take a picture on you, so I just kind of squat next to it. And then Jason decides to just get down in there and lay on his back.
Well, yeah. I will say this. Leaving garbage on public land is one of my hugest pet peeves. So I'm willing to go above and beyond to send a message. Don't do that.
Yeah. Just in the course of like the past year, just in this community alone, we've met a lot of great people, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like whether it's subscribers or fellow content creators, or just anybody, or just people just interested in overlanding. And I feel like I built a lot of great relationships in this space in overlanding. If you guys haven't seen Jason and Donald's latest expedition video, like Donald just came up, for me, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Donald has become like that trip with me and Donald definitely solidified my friendship or relationship with Donald. He is just really a great guy.
Yeah.
And genuine, and just loves to explore, loves to be outdoors.
Yeah.
And I really wish you could have came on that trip. I understood why you couldn't. Obviously, you newborn baby.
Yeah.
But that was to spend that week with Donald and share the route that I had created, and then see his enthusiasm for it, and then beyond that, see the amazing, absolutely amazing set of videos he created out of that trip. talking about relationships that I have made through YouTube and doing this, like you and Donald, like I'm very, that probably is a value in itself, just because I do consider you and Donald like very solid friends, brothers, and I'm always excited when I know that I get to go out and hang out with you guys,
Yeah, I think can't be disputed that we always have a great time when we hang out. His style's a little bit different from ours, right? We got big ass cars. We got a big van, a monstrous van named Sasquatch. I got my F-150.
You don't have an F-150.
I'm
glad that you wish you had a Ford so bad.
I'm gonna have to edit that out. But my Toyota Tundra. But Donald is able to hang in his Subaru Forester.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this in videos before. I mean, I think that's one of the things that really draws me to Donald is he obviously has a serious passion for exploration. And I see all the time people like, oh man, I really want to do that, but I have to have this before I can do that. Donald's like, no, this is what I have. This is what's available to me right now. I want to explore. Yeah. I'm going to make it happen with what I have. And that's the difference to me. When I see that tells me a person that truly has a passion for overlanding and exploring the outdoors, and a person that doesn't really. When a person's like, well, man, I'm going to get out there as soon as I can get this or this and this and this, I'm like, you're never going out.
Yeah.
You're never going out.
That's a good point.
But Donald, like, he has what he has, and he'll be the first to tell you it's not his first choice if he had a choice, but it's what he has, and he makes it work. Long before my, doing YouTube, long before I had any idea of the term Overland or what Overland was.
Yeah.
I had bought a Ford Explorer, little 2-door Ford Explorer. It was a 6-speed, it was a 6-cylinder with a 5-speed. And I bought it from a towing company for $350. It was oxidized. It didn't have a lift kit, didn't have anything special about it. Most people laughed at me when I bought it home because they thought it was just going to fall apart in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. But I drove that vehicle for about 6 years, put 100,000 miles on it, and I spent a ton of time out camping in it, and driving it all over the backcountry with tires that most people would tell you absolutely without a doubt that you could not go outdoors with.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't have money at the time, so I bought the cheapest tires I could afford, and they were street tires. Everybody's like, oh, you got to have this tires and these tires. I mean, these were crappiest street tires the cheapest thing I could possibly put on the vehicle just to keep it on the road. And I did everything that I promise you, I did everything that you see me do now on the YouTube channel, I did with that rig. And it was stock $350. And I had such a great time, and I had no idea what overlanding was, and this was even before, like, I don't even know if I knew what YouTube was at the time.
Right.
I was just or maybe YouTube was just barely starting to kind of get a foothold, but I had a great time with that rig. Great time. And I really wish I still had it. I really wish I still had that rig. It was probably one of the funnest rigs I ever owned. They definitely weren't, I mean, let's be honest, I mean, they definitely weren't as good as, a good set of all-terrains or, a really good set of tires. But at the time, quite honestly, I just didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And I just went out and did. And I guess at the time, like I said, YouTube was getting a foothold. But at the time, I didn't have a bunch of people telling me I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I was just out doing it because I didn't know any better.
Yeah, and I'll admit to that too. When I drove around in the BMW X5, it had street tires on it too. Mm-hmm. So I think what's funny is, like, you can still go out and do stuff and still camp and get places, but what happens is when you get the right kind of gear, it reduces the risk of you being stranded or getting stuck or, you know, and stuff like that. So with street tires, you can still do it, but the odds of something happening which will leave you stranded could be increased.
Yeah,
like, you know,
absolutely,
shards, if you're trying to drive in snow or things like that, it's a little bit more increased, but I mean, that's the adventurous spirit, right? Like,
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
it just still took us out, but
I still had a fun time. I still had a great time with that rig and minimal gear.
I think at the same time, just got to make sure. I would recommend just doing research on where you guys go,
Right.
you know, and make sure your rig is capable. So if you do have like a Camry or a Ford Escort or something like that, make sure you're not going, you know, in the middle of winter in 3 feet of snow, right? Like
Right.
something like that. But you can still get to campgrounds, certain places with maybe just gravel roads or something like that.
I always think back. I was when I first started figuring out the Overland route, you know, and I was kind of just checking the roads, making sure everything was what I want, was working out, like the map was right and my route was good. I remember being out there and I was thinking to myself, like, man, I'm really out here in the remote, feeling like pretty tough about what I was doing. And then I see two guys drive by in a Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, it was a Honda Accord. It wasn't a Toyota Camry, it was a Honda Accord. I see two guys drive by me in a Honda Accord and I'm like, yeah, cool.
Right.
I mean, it was pretty remote area. It definitely was remote, but at the time, and it was summertime, so it wasn't like snow or massive mud or anything, but
Yeah.
you know, it was some, you know, fairly remote BLM roads, and of course the roads were in fairly good condition for the time of year and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
still, two guys out in a Honda, and I mean, I'm talking like a 1980s model Honda Accord, not
Right.
even something newer, but like
Yeah.
a really old school Honda Accord just out in this remote BLM road. I don't have a clue what these guys are doing out there, but they were out there.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I think right now, especially right now, with the social media, I feel like it kind of intimidates certain people going out.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that you can't go out to certain places without a certain thing. Like if you can't afford Max Tracks, but you're not going out in the snow or mud or sand, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Same thing with like a shovel, right?
I didn't have. I mean, I got recovery boards now, and they're very useful. We used them today. We used them
did.
last night.
That's right.
They are a great tool to have for sure. But before recovery boards, or even I knew what recovery boards were, I remember getting the old Ford unstuck of some just sloppy mud.
Yeah.
You know, with branches.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
that's
using
right.
them just like recovery boards, but you know, I cut a couple branches off a juniper tree and stuffed them under the tires and got myself out.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I've gotten stuck in snow, and what I did was I just dug underneath the wheel into the gravel so that it would have contact with the gravel, and that was when I had my Toyota Tacoma, and it was just Katie and I. You know, there's not one way. There's multiple ways. You know,
Right.
And but definitely it's good to be educated and just kind of do some research before you get out certain places. But we both, Jason and I, our message is to get out, enjoy the outdoors, especially in these times. Like, it's not just good, you know, I think maybe spiritually, but also mentally,
Right.
even physically. It's good for you. It's really good for you, and the best part about it, for the most part, is it's free. You know,
Right.
you
I mean,
know,
at least
depending
here
on
in the
where you go.
West, we got a lot of public land. I mean, I understand there's, you know, kind of on the East Coast, it's maybe a little bit more difficult, but we definitely have some privileges here on the West with public land. But I think, like, my message is you don't need to go out and just be hardcore, especially if you don't have maybe a good setup or you're just getting started.
Yeah.
Just start somewhere. I don't care if you go to a KOA.
Right. Yeah.
You know, start something simple, gain some confidence, gain some experience, build from there.
right, hey, good morning everyone. It's a nice beautiful morning out here. It did snow just a tad last night. I slept well last night. Didn't get to sleep with a diesel heater, which is a segue into the diesel heater itself, this experience for this weekend. So as you guys know, it's my first time using it. The instructions weren't very clear that came with it, but I was able to eventually make it work. I ended up using about 5.4 hertz for the entire night. The night before when we first got here, I ran it and it shut off at about 4:30 a.m. So I went outside to check it out, and it turns out that the diesel fuel has already been used up. There was just a little bit underneath where the pump is to pump out the fuel from. So it was almost a gallon that was used up in I'd say about 6 hours. The Jackery 500 was at about 90%, and it used it down to 17% by the morning. 5.4 hertz is the strongest power that it's at, so I'm guessing there's two reasons why the Jackery was depleted up to 17% or down to 17%. One being the fact that I had it on 5.4 hertz, the strongest power. I think next time around, if I weakened it, just to have the pump come out with a weaker power, it might last a little bit longer, as well as the fact that I had the Jackery in the tote but right on top of the snow. So as you guys know, any kind of battery source or battery supply that is subjected to severe cold weather, and it was pretty cold, it was around the 20s, it does deplete faster and drain faster. So I think those may be the two common factors, and I'm going to continue with the testing on separate trips. I am planning to release a full review video on it as well as how I put it together and the stuff that I had to do to make it work. But aside from that, the tires handled the snow really well. Update on the tires, it's doing well so far. And right now we got like packed type of snow. Some parts are icy, and it hasn't really given me any issues. Right now we're gonna start to slowly break down camp, and then we're gonna head out. Jason's gonna head down to Oregon, and I'm gonna head home. Chloe just turned 2 months, and I can't wait to see her and Katie. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this adventure. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Definitely check out Jason's channel. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Beautiful videography, beautiful videos, great stories. Definitely worth checking out. So, as always, be safe, take care, and I'll see you next time.